polishing, and ceramic coating a Z3. Hi, I'm Ivan.
And I'm Mark.
And this is DIY Detail. Special guest Mark from Moment of Zed. If you're into Z3s, you need to know his channel. If you're not into Z3s, you still need to watch his channel. It's a lot of fun. Mark is enthusiastic to almost a fault. But anyways, loves the car. Today we'll be polishing, and Mark has never polished before. So we'll be putting into his hands a cord-free dual action polisher.
All right, and this is a beauty. I like the cord free.
Yeah, so no cords in the way, no extension cords, and we'll be quickly polishing. The car is already in great shape. There's a few love marks. It is a 30-year-old car after all, but we'll get over those love marks and get a nice ceramic coating on it, making it easier for Mark to maintain in the future. So let's get polishing.
Okay, let's do it.
Mark, first step in polishing is a clean, damp pad.
Okay.
So we have the rinseless wash from our bucket, just put in here. I got several sprays on the pad, just to get it nice and damp. And then from there, we use the pad wash. So this surface has these little bumps in it.
Okay.
And what that does is it forces the pad up and down, and it forces the liquid in and out of the pad.
All right.
So we just run it at a low speed over top of this. Then we lift it up a 1/4 inch, bring it to full speed, spin it for a few seconds.
Okay.
And then we're ready to add the polish. Now, most polishes you've seen in the past come in a bottle.
Yep.
That you put a couple drops on the pad.
Yep.
Ours is very different. Comes in a spray. So we get the pad spinning. One spray on the pad is all we use.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
Now, off camera, you said you'd never polished before.
Not with a machine. Obviously,
Okay.
I've done it with my hand, which is gets to you after a while. Maybe not a little car, but on a big car.
Yeah. And you mentioned you're a little nervous about this.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm going to sand all the paint off. I know I won't, but
Yeah.
it feels that way.
Okay. Well, we'll get you over those nerves in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
So we put the machine on the surface to start.
Yep.
We have it set at speed 2.
Speed 2. How many speeds are on that, by the way?
6 speeds.
6 speeds.
We use speed 2 or 3 for polishing. Speed 6 is just for wringing out the pad.
Okay.
If it were up to me, it would be a 2-speed machine, work and wring out the pad. But it's actually more expensive to have a 2-speed switch than it is to have the variable speed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manufacturing the way it is. So, first of all, you'll notice I've got a lot of pressure on the machine.
Yeah, none at all.
Yeah. You can control it with 1 or 2 fingers. It's not that hard to control.
Okay.
And all we're doing is going left to right with a 50% overlap.
Okay.
And we can go right over the...
Right over the...
Yep.
Okay.
And then after that, left to right, we'll go up and down with a 50% overlap again. And you want to work a section no wider than your shoulders.
All right.
And then left to right with a 50% overlap.
Boy, I can see the difference already. That's amazing.
And then we take 2 towels to wipe off the polish residue, a damp towel.
All right.
And it's dampened with the rinseless wash, same thing that we use to wash it.
Okay, so we've been using that a lot, basically every step.
Right. And the rinseless wash, what it does, the surfactants in it, break down the polishing oils, making it a lot easier than to bring to a shine.
Okay, so this is our final buff, something I would do by hand with my old-fashioned paste wax.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now we've removed the wax that you have on the surface, or had on the surface.
Yep.
At the same time, gotten rid of some of the little love marks. Your paint is in great shape. There's no deep scratches. There's no big defects. There's a few places where paint is missing, but polishing is not going to remove, or not going to replace that paint.
It will not.
No. And then from there, we just do the whole car.
Okay.
And we can do this in direct sunlight, which we are today on parts of the car.
Part of it, yeah. We're kind of half in, half out.
Yeah. So we can do this in direct sunlight. You can do it in the shade. You can do it in the garage. It really doesn't matter. We can wipe off as we go or wipe off the whole car when we're done. It's really up to you.
So I probably can't screw this up.
You can, but you'd have to think about how to do it.
I'd have to work at it. Okay, I'll try not to.
Right. So grab a machine. We have 2 of them. I'll do one side, you do the other.
All right.
We'll put this at the front of the car so we both have access to it.
Yep. Okay, again, so I've got a dry pad right now.
Yep. So we start with a couple sprays of the rinseless wash.
All right.
And let me remove this from the machine here.
Yep, and I'm going to run it on medium 3.
Yep, speed 3.
Okay. Again, don't have to really press down.
A little bit of pressure.
A little bit of
here.
pressure.
Then lift it up about 1/4 inch.
Okay.
Bring it to speed 6.
Yep.
Let it spin out for a little while.
Now I blew up your machine.
No, the batteries on these, when they die a sudden death.
Okay, new battery, 6, 1/4 inch above the bucket, dimples, and
that's good.
And there we go.
Now, I need you to think back to a day where you were very angry at someone. Squeeze the trigger like it's their neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So basically what you want to do is have it slightly spinning.
Yep.
And we aim at half of the pad. That's it.
Okay.
And so one quick spray.
Yep, one quick spray gets it all around when it's moving.
Yep.
Yep.
And off to
Time
the
to
paint
go
you
out.
go.
Okay, great.
Yeah, put it back to speed 3.
Yep. Thank you for reminding me. And we're on 3. No real pressure.
No pressure at all.
And we're going left to right.
Yeah. So you want to work on keeping it flat to the paint.
Yep.
So one way to do that is to relax. You're too stressed. I can actually fit my hand underneath the pad.
Okay, gotcha.
So you'll always want to use the trigger lock.
Yep.
And you're just guiding the machine.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier with the trigger lock. Not worrying about pressing the trigger.
Right.
And of course on this car, it's so curvy.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a flat panel on a Z3.
No, not at all. That's what makes it beautiful. All right. And then we're going up and down.
Yep.
50% overlap. And then left to right again.
Exactly.
Now, do you sell the machines on your site? Because I noticed it has your brand on it.
Yep. The machine is actually my design. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is nice. I always kind of feel like I was going to leave swirl marks with the regular orbital polishers you can buy,
yeah,
you know, wherever. All right.
So you'll want to clean the pad and put new polish on it for a new section.
Great. So clean the pad with?
Rinseless wash.
Yep.
So a couple sprays.
Okay. And run it over the dimples again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And new squirt of polish.
So you had a mark here, that's why I'm spending a little more time. Looks like a bird dropping. It sat there for a while.
Yep, probably, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which, of course, was before my ownership.
So back up to speed 3.
Oh, yeah. And right over the badge, doesn't
Yep.
matter. Yeah, and this is very easy.
That's the goal. We want it to be simple. We want it to be fun. And get the results, too.
Yeah, now we were probably blessed with ideal weather today. It's probably 60 degrees, no humidity, a light breeze. This is about the best of Florida in February.
Yep.
But regardless, even if it were warm, I certainly wouldn't be sweating because this is just no effort at all. And your machine doesn't kick. It doesn't make me feel like I'm going to lose control.
No.
I barely have my hand on it at all. Now, as far as the really tiny sections, like inside the fog lights and things like that, you just do that by hand with the polish, or?
No, we'll be able to get in there with the machine.
Okay. Now, I've done 2 sections at this point. Should I go ahead and take the rags and go, or the towels and go at them?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. All right, so we start out with the damp towel.
Yep.
Okay. And we're just going.
No pressure, you're just getting it damp. That's all you're worried about.
All right.
And what that does is, like I said, it breaks down the oils from the polish.
Just once?
Yep.
Okay.
And then go over it with the dry towel.
All right. Yeah, and I can already tell that that's nice and smooth.
Yeah.
That's really smooth. And it looks amazing. I mean, I can tell already the difference in my car, which again, my paint was pretty nice, but...
Yeah. We're just enhancing your paint.
Yep.
Detailers talk a lot about paint correction, which to me is not a great word. Correction is something that happens in a prison. It's not something, not something you should be doing to your paint. But a paint enhancement, basically we're taking off the little dead layer of paint that's there, the oxidation.
Yep.
Brightening it up. At the same time, getting rid of the little, the micro swirls that are there from washing and life, and just giving it a nice glossy, clean surface to attach the coating to.
Okay. And one thing I like about your products is they're reasonably priced to begin with, but you don't really have to use a lot of any of them.
No,
to get the work done.
The less you use, the better.
Yep. I caught a little water here out of the gills, as you often do, but that's not a big deal, right?
Not a problem.
Okay. Now your Z3 is red, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Is it sienna red?
Yeah, sienna.
That's a beautiful color. How was your paint when you bought it?
Relatively good condition. It was very, very waxed.
Uh-huh.
So when we stripped the wax off, we had a few surprises. It wasn't, it was very scratched up beneath it.
Right.
But, you know, they did a good job nonetheless, keeping the wax on it. So it wasn't faded, it was just scratched up a lot.
Now, Canadian car or US car you brought up?
Canadian car.
Okay.
So it's never seen winter, which is typical of Z3s in Canada.
Sure, sure.
Although I prefer rear-wheel drive car in the snow, but
always a lot more fun.
yeah, I drove convertibles in the winter for many years. So.
I was gonna say, was that Z3 your first BMW at all?
First BMW, okay. But definitely not the first convertible.
All right.
Yeah, we were looking between a Z3, a Boxster, and a 370Z.
Uh-huh.
Nissan.
Yep.
And your channel is actually what pushed us towards the Z3. So.
Well, again, glad to hear that.
Enthusiasm without bounds.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's an easy car to be enthusiastic about.
Yeah.
And it has its quirks like any car. I think BMW gets a bad reputation for reliability off some products that were long after the Z3.
Yeah.
I think that's unfortunate. But I think the Z3, other than little problems, glove box, stuff like that,
yeah,
is a fairly reliable vehicle overall, knock on wood. So
yeah, and the previous owner of ours did the whole cooling system thing.
Right, which I still need to do on this one.
So that's all been done. You know, it's in good shape. It only has 60,000 miles on it. So.
Oh, wow.
Or 60,000 kilometers, sorry.
Oh, 60,000 kilometers.
So about 40,000 miles.
Right, right. Thank you for doing the conversion.
Yeah. So it's definitely not a high mileage car. So.
Yeah.
And a friend of ours was able to pick up some sports seats for us.
Okay.
So we'll be changing those over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't really spent much time in regular seats, but looks-wise, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Oops.
The standard seats are comfortable. The sports seats are better.
Yes.
Instead of calling them sport seats, they could have called them just a comfort seat. But yeah, they have a little more bolstering, but not much.
Yeah, I'm very happy with mine. I think the biggest problem I have right now is you can't get Oregon leather, as far as I know. Someone out there knows where to get Oregon leather, please let me know. But yeah, since I have a crack in the driver's seat, of course. Leather's going to be for another video, though.
Yeah, for ours, the interior is black, so getting leather is not a concern.
Right. Now, as far as things like the side mirrors here, doesn't matter if I catch the edge a little bit.
No, we'll actually polish the mirror.
What's that?
We'll actually be polishing the mirror.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I mean, as far as the backside of it, I
not
could
a
use the
problem.
machine?
Yep.
Okay.
You can also polish the windscreen. So.
Okay.
Now your pad may sometimes get dark like this. This is actually from the molding around the windshield, picking up the oxidation. The pad is clean, it's just stained, nothing to worry about.
All right.
Right here, there's a scuff mark. We can just use a little more polish on here to brighten it up. We're not trying to remove it completely because every time you're polishing, you're actually removing clear coat. Not something we want to do, but at the same time, I want to give that a little more life.
Now, Ivan, how often would we do this?
Ideally, once in the lifetime of the car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all?
Every time we're polishing, we're removing clear coat.
Right.
So every time you polish, you're thinning the clear coat. We don't want to thin the clear coat.
Sure.
If at all possible.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Right.
With proper wash technique, you wouldn't need to do this again.
Okay. Fair enough.
And with the ceramic coating, it just makes it even better. The ceramic coating, once it's on the surface, you'll want to ceramic coat everything in your life. It just makes it so much easier to clean and maintain.
Okay.
So that scuff mark is now gone.
Wow, that's amazing because that one's been bugging me. It's certainly not the only one, but it's been bothering me for a while. Right over the door handle, doesn't matter?
Go right over it.
How far down did you go on the rocker? Did you go up underneath?
I went underneath you.
Okay, all right. I kind of left that as separate, just because the rocker, you tend to pick up junk there sometimes.
We washed it, so it should be.
Should be good. Yeah, it wasn't that dirty to begin with. And I'm sorry I'm going so much slower than you. I'm
Not a problem.
making you do all the work.
I've done this a few more times than you have.
Yeah. Okay, we're meeting.
Yeah.
Way later than we should have. All right. You want to take half and I'll take half here?
I'm working on the bumper at the moment.
Okay. Good. I'll do the quarter. Probably just get the whole quarter in one swoop, right?
Yeah.
Now, did you go over the taillights?
Yep.
Yes, you did. Okay.
Taillights, headlights. They're looking very confident with that polisher, Mark.
Thank you very much. I feel confident. Yeah, it's easy. There's nothing really to it.
No.
Yeah, and your machine's nice. It's not leaving crazy swirl marks. It's not doing anything that makes me think, gosh, I'm doing something wrong. So it's very nice.
Excellent.
Yep.
So we're all done polishing.
Yep.
Time to wipe off the residue.
Yeah.
And the next step is coming. Did you polish the windscreen?
I did not.
Okay.
So you polished the glass as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Basically as a method of deep cleaning.
All right.
It's not going to remove any scratches or swirls from the glass.
Will it get water spots? Because I got a few water spots that...
It will help a little bit.
Yeah, because I've hit them with vinegar even, and just obviously on the glass, vinegar's not going to hurt anything. But
no.
Yeah, it really didn't do it. All right, so I need to do the windshield and the frame on my side, right?
Yeah.
Did you do this little strip up here?
Yeah.
You did. You're just careful not to get the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do it if you're not confident.
I might let you do that.
Okay.
I'll get the windshield. One thing that always drives me up a wall about the Z3 is the inability to lift the arms up off the...
Yeah.
That drives me a little crazy. It makes it hard to clean. All my water spots are under here.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll get this edge. That's no big deal.
Yeah, it's not that difficult.
Just be careful. Actually, if you just kind of take it straight on, it gets done. Yeah, I apologize. I've been making you do all the work.
Not a problem. This isn't work for me. So.
I don't find this has been all that difficult. I was really expecting this to be hard to do, and it's not. Especially if you're going to do this once.
A rinseless dampened towel like this is great for cleaning the interior.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have any leather care products?
No.
Is that something that you're going to do or not interested in? Or
we have an interior coating. It's designed to keep the interior, make it easier to clean and maintain.
Yeah.
But most leather, including the leather on your car, is what's called a coated leather these days.
Okay.
So we're actually not working on the leather. We're working on a plastic top coat on top of the leather.
I've got you. Okay. Finish that up, and I'm going to do the side glass too.
So Mark, what did you think of using the tools for polishing?
It was very easy. Again, I was a little nervous about the polishing, worried about leaving swirl marks or whatever, but it was simple, easy to do.
Excellent. That's what we want. We like simple. We like easy. We like things to be good. And what do you think of the look of the car now?
Oh, it looks so much better. A lot of the rub marks and things that were there are gone.
Yep.
And just the overall glow is huge. It really looks great.
We're about to improve it. Now, normally we would do a panel prep step, which is a solvent, alcohol mix, surfactants to remove any oils or greases from the surface.
Okay.
But we have a product called Adhesion Promoter Polish. It works even better, and it actually brightens the paint up a little more. You'll see a little more of your metallic. It actually swells the paint slightly. Not, we're not going to make the paint a 1/4 inch thick.
Okay.
But it just swells it maybe half a micron to a micron. But it also opens up the pores to absorb the coating much better.
Okay.
The other aspect of that, we're in direct sunlight. Panel prep in direct sunlight isn't exactly easy to do.
Yeah.
Because of the fast evaporation. Whereas the adhesion promoter polish doesn't make a difference. We can do it in direct sunlight, let it sit for half a day if we want to, and it'll still wipe off easily.
Okay.
So very simple product process to do. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Yep. So Mark, I'm going to give you a couple towels.
Okay.
Here, just grab the towels.
Yep.
I have the adhesion promoter polish.
Okay.
And contrary to the polishing where we're using a damp pad and cleaning the pad all the time, this we're using a dry pad.
Okay.
And we're not going to clean it.
All right.
The surface is extremely clean as it is. We've washed it, we've decontaminated, we've done all these steps, we've polished. It's clean, we don't need to worry about that.
All right.
And this has a very, very little amount of abrasive, not enough to correct the paint or make it better, but just enough to deep clean the paint. And that's the goal of this. And we wipe it off with a dry towel, not with a damp towel.
All right.
So contrary to what we did before, but very simple to use. And the less of this you use, the better. So I'm going to put 3 little drops on here.
Okay, about 3 dime-sized spots.
Oh, you've got small dimes here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Pea-size drops. Yeah, that's all we need to do. And I won't add any more to the pad until I'm not leaving anything on the surface.
All right.
And for this, we can do it in direct sunlight. It's not a concern. You'll see that it wipes off super easy. One of the reasons we're wearing gloves as well.
Yep.
When you're working with chemicals, it's always good to wear gloves. The other thing is we don't want our body oils on the paint at this point.
All right.
So even if you didn't wear gloves up to this point, at this point, please start wearing gloves.
All right.
But you should always wear gloves when dealing with chemicals.
I always say that, and I never do, but I am today.
Yeah, and you can see our gloves. They're red.
Yes.
And unlike the polishing we did before, we don't need to do 3 or 4 passes. As long as I'm getting it on the surface, that's all I'm concerned about. So no pressure on the machine.
And again, this is your machine?
No, this is one we actually bought off Amazon.
Oh, okay.
It's called a Fendo, and it's actually a sander,
Okay.
but it works great for this purpose. And it's a nice, smooth, quiet machine.
Yeah, it is. It's very quiet.
It does exactly what we need it to do. So, but you could actually use a little random orbital sander and do the same thing. You know, you can go to Harbor Freight, pick one up for 15 bucks,
Sure,
and
sure.
it will do the job.
Now I notice you're just getting it on there. You're not doing 3 passes, 4
No.
passes, or whatever.
Yeah, we just need
Okay.
to get it on the surface.
All right. And again, you're not worried about getting it off right away.
We could immediately wipe it off
Mhm.
or wait a day if we wanted to.
Okay.
It doesn't harden or set up.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about the old school waxes and stuff. If you went at it and left a bunch of swirl marks, and God help you if you couldn't get back to it immediately, that was
No.
it. You were done.
Yeah,
your paint was
You were
cooked, as
having
the
a
kids
very
say.
bad day at that point.
Exactly. All right, so again, you're doing the glass with this as well.
Yeah, and you can start wiping this off.
Okay, great. Did you do the whole hood? I can't remember
Yes,
now.
I did.
Okay, great.
Down to the gills.
All right. And just circular patterns?
Circular, straight, triangle,
Doesn't matter.
squares.
Okay. And I think that's what I like best about your products, or one of the things I like best about it is I don't have to be too crazy about, you know, if I accidentally wipe straight, wiping swirls, whatever it is, it's fine.
Yeah, and people always assume that swirls are caused by wiping in circular motions.
Yes.
They're not. Swirls are actually a collection of straight lines. We see it as a swirl because the sun is a pinpoint of light.
Yes.
If we had a line of light, you would see all the individual lines that comprise a swirl.
Interesting. Hadn't heard described that way before. Yeah, and I guess 40 years of hand washing and hand waxing, always going in circles, is a hard habit to break.
Yeah. I'll ask you to fold the towels instead of bunching them up.
Fair enough.
And that one doesn't go back on the car.
Absolutely not.
So the reason I gave you 2 towels was to have one in each hand, but
You got to spell it out for me.
yeah, not a
I'm
problem.
a simple man. Did you do the doors at all?
Yeah, the whole side is done.
Okay, including below the gills?
Pardon me?
Below the gills as well?
Yep.
Okay.
So trunk, tail lights,
Yep.
rear bumper is all done. So Mark, the app is done.
All right.
Just have to finish wiping it off, and then we're ready for the icing on the sundae, or the icing on the cake, the cherry on the sundae, the ceramic coating.
All right, great. And as usual, I'm behind you, but I'm getting there.
Well, like I said, I've got a few more years experience in detailing than you have. So.
Yep. Do you find that people in general are kind of entrenched in how they detail and the products they use? Like there's a lot of product loyalty out there.
Less and less of that.
Uh-huh.
Been teaching detailing for decades, and I'm one of the less habitual people you'll find.
Uh-huh.
Meaning that if there's a better, more efficient way of doing things, I will change in a heartbeat.
Okay.
But a lot of people, like, I mentioned when we were using the sponge, there are a lot of people that if you tell them you're washing your car with a sponge,
Yeah.
they'll try to exercise you.
Right, right.
But, their thought of the sponge is the sponge that we used to use in the 80s.
Sure, sure.
And they haven't looked past that. So.
Yep.
Next step in the process, the ceramic coating.
Okay.
So you've got 2 towels.
Got 2 towels.
The green one is the first wipe,
Okay.
and the second one is an insurance towel, just to make sure you didn't leave anything behind.
Okay.
In a box, we have our 5-year ceramic coating and our applicator.
Now that's not much coating.
This is enough to do maybe 3 of these.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot.
Okay.
Applying a coating is actually easier than applying a wax. People stress out that a ceramic coating is this hard, difficult thing to do. It's super easy.
Okay, because that's what I thought.
Yeah.
When you said, hey, let's ceramic coat this together, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, as long as he's here, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be here.
No, even if I wasn't here, you could do this.
Okay.
Very simple. So we're going to start with maybe 10 or 12 drops on the applicator pad.
Okay.
And we don't want to drop from up here. We actually want to put it up against the pad.
So those are little like pinpoints, basically. Yeah. All right.
So now we have a little on the pad.
Yep.
And I always like to close off the bottle.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Our bottles are aluminum, so if it gets dropped, it's not going to shatter. But at the same time, it's just safer.
Don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
All right.
We start, and I have way too much on my applicator. This is by design, because I want to spread it on the applicator as much as I'm spreading it on the paint.
Okay.
And normally we would box in a section
Yep.
and then fill in with circular motions. But since this is the first section we're doing it the opposite, again, to spread it on the applicator.
Okay.
I'm starting in the center, and I'm working in a circular motion.
All right. So now you can see it.
Yeah, you can see
which
it.
is good because it's nice to be seen, so you know you're getting it on everything.
Right. Now, depending on the color, your color, we can see it a little bit.
It's evaporating pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Too.
So we have that. Looks like a oil slick on water or a rainbow look.
All right. Yep.
And when 50% of that is cleared up,
yeah,
which it is now,
okay,
that's where you take the green towel first.
Yep.
And lightly go over the surface, so no pressure. And basically what you're doing is spreading it out even further.
Okay.
So this solvent has evaporated away.
Yep.
And the excess coating that's on the surface, you're spreading it out.
Okay. And again, I'm just motion doesn't really matter.
No, and you can have a little more vigor in your motions. Yep.
All right, there we go. And you went all the way down.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you cross the line here? Okay.
Now, yes, I did cross the line just a little bit.
Well, yeah, I'll get it. But you
so,
didn't go down further.
So basically, I always color outside the lines.
All right.
And when you're leveling, you're also coloring outside the lines.
Should I be flipping the towel? Or?
No, not necessary, but you can flip, and that was a beautiful flip, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then from there, you go over it with the other towel, just a quick wipe. You'll just feel how slick and smooth the paint is.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Even pressing down hard, it just goes right over.
Yeah. And you shouldn't be pressing.
No
No pressure is the right pressure.
No pressure is the right pressure. Okay.
And then now I'm going to box in this section.
Okay.
Get all the gills.
So yeah, I really felt like ceramic coating was this huge deal.
Yeah.
It is not.
No. We've been doing this, 3 hours? at most.
Yeah, well, our total here so far is right about at 3 hours, and that's with filming and talking and doing all the other things our
Yeah.
folks at home won't be doing.
No.
Okay, so that's about 50% evaporated
Yeah. So the whole side of the hood, and I went down around
around the gills.
around the kidneys as well.
Yep.
Now, when you're working as a team,
Yeah,
you don't want to get too far ahead of the person leveling,
sure.
and always announce what you're doing.
Okay.
And if you're doing this by yourself, do a section, level it, do the next section, level it. You
Right.
don't need to worry about the pad drying off in between, unless you're taking an hour to do a section.
Fair enough. And now, did you go over
I did
here?
both sides, yeah.
Okay. But not the bumper.
Not the bumper.
Go back over it with this. No
So-
pressure.
Now the mark is caught up. And I'm going back over the side that we already did just a little bit,
Sure.
just to make sure that we're not leaving anything undone. No pressure on the applicator. I'm just gliding it along the surface.
Okay.
So the bulge of the hood is done.
All right. Again, this is another step where if you're sweating, then you're doing it way too much.
Yeah. You know, this is should be the fun, relaxing part of the detail.
Okay.
The no stress. I'm just putting the coating on, having fun, making my paint glossy and shiny.
Yeah. Now, what is this going to do for me? You said it's a 5-year coating.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 years down the road, what is this still doing for me?
Well, actually, it can last the lifetime of the car if you maintain it properly.
Okay.
You need to go a little further, Mark. I went to about
All right,
here.
yep.
Yeah, gotcha. Good. Yeah. A properly maintained coating is going to last the lifetime of the coating. And by properly maintaining, it's simply keeping it clean. So washing it every week or two.
Yeah.
And when you feel that it's contaminated, decontaminate it.
Okay.
It's contamination that breaks down coatings over time, and it's also fracturing, which means if you think of the desert floor, so, you know, you get it wet, it's a nice smooth surface.
Yep.
And then as it dries out, it fractures.
Yeah.
Coatings or older generations of coatings used to fracture. We have two things in ours that prevents or slows down that fracturing. One of them is silicon nitride, and the other one is silicon carbide. The two combined make it so that the coating can almost not fracture.
Okay.
So that's why they last a long time. And the only way to remove the coating is through abrasion. So as long as you don't abrade it, you're
Right.
not removing it.
We're okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you reapplied wax to the pad yet? Or sorry, the ceramic coating?
Yeah.
You did.
So every section that I do, I add 2 or 3 drops.
2 or 3 drops.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And again, this evaporates. The solvent evaporates quickly, so
Right.
it's pretty much put it on, wipe it off. It's
Yeah.
not,
It's a relatively windy day,
it is
so that wind is.
helping us out.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you're a cold day with a dry environment,
Yeah.
it's going to take a lot longer. It's actually humidity that is the biggest curing factor.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You would expect it to be the other way around.
Yeah. So the higher the humidity, the faster it's going to cross-link and adhere to the paint.
And we're on kind of a dry day here for Florida, especially, but it's
Yeah.
that time of year for us.
Yeah. Yeah. For Florida, it's very dry.
It is very dry. It's actually, like I said before, we have pretty much an ideal day to do anything outside
Yeah.
today.
It's not Las Vegas dry, but it's dry.
Yep.
So the windshield frame, and I'm also going to do the glass one.
So you're going to do the glass as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So that should shed water even better.
It's going to shed water better. When you're driving in the rain, you won't need your wipers.
Wow.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing, when you do have a coating on your windshield, when it starts to rain, use your windshield washer fluid,
Okay.
because that's going to take the oils, the road film off of the windshield,
Okay.
Then your coating is exposed to the water and it'll do what it's supposed to do.
All
But
right.
when you have that little film on there, it's not going to work properly. So people misinterpret what their coating is doing, thinking that the coating's not working anymore. It just has that little road oil on it that won't allow the coating to do its
Allow
job.
the coating to work.
So,
Okay.
when it starts raining, a bit of windshield washer fluid, a couple passes with the wipers, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to do the side glass and the mirror.
Okay.
Then I'll do the rear fender. Then I'll come back to do the door once you've done this, so we're not in each other's way.
Okay. Makes good sense.
And we're doing the black trim as well.
Okay. So really, any of your products can get on anything. And again, I'll date myself to the old school waxing where,
Yeah.
God forbid, you get that wax on rubber. If you didn't get it off right away, it was going to leave a whitish haze everywhere.
Yeah. And we actually have a wax that you can put on rubber trim.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So if you like the good old school, we don't have a paste wax, it's a cream wax.
Uh-huh.
But if you like a good old school wax, we have one.
Gotcha.
It works very well. And you can actually use it in direct sunlight. You were mentioning, back in the day where we would wax a car, and if you left it for 1 minute too long,
Yeah.
you were
done.
Yeah, it was not a happy day.
Yeah.
Ours, you can apply the wax in direct sunlight and not stress.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's where you mentioned before about advances. I have to admit, when I started using the ceramic spray wax,
Yeah.
boy, I just, my paste had been sitting in the cabinet for a couple of years now without being touched barely. It's just so much easier, and you really get basically the same results,
Oh yeah.
or better even. Okay.
Rear quarter panel.
Yep. All the way to the,
Not the rocker, just
not the rocker, just cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And not the bumper.
Not the bumper yet.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Well, I like this because this is fast, and I felt that this was going to be the step that was going to be the longest, and it isn't at all.
No. No, there's a lot of misconceptions about ceramic coatings. Now, the older ceramic coatings, yes, they were a chore to apply, and you couldn't do it outside, and there was all sorts of restrictions in applying a coating. Modern coatings, not a problem.
Okay. Now, you said at your company you've got guys that are doing R&D,
Yes.
so you're always trying to improve what you're doing, I assume.
Yeah. Maybe by the time this video comes out, we'll actually be on our second generation of coatings.
Interesting.
So they're coming soon. We're just waiting on a few raw materials to get that done. So they'll actually be easier to apply.
Okay.
That can be imagined.
Not much, really,
Yeah.
but okay.
Inside the door cup as well.
Yep.
Yep.
Doing it again, I'm bunched up my towel.
Yeah. You're not alone, don't worry.
Old habits die hard.
So when you level off the little fender filler here,
Uh-huh.
go over it, and then go over the hood again with your towel,
Okay.
just so you can see the difference that 10 minutes makes
Okay.
in terms of slickness.
Again, you didn't do the rocker here either, right?
No, I'll do the rocker next.
All as one piece.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to divide the vehicle into logical pieces.
No, and I think this vehicle lends itself to that very easily.
Yeah.
Of course, when we talk about quarter panels up here,
Yeah.
it's more like an eighth of a panel.
Yeah.
All
So you felt how that feels? Feel the hood. You'll see it's.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah. And over the
That's
next
tremendous.
week, it will get slicker.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in our lineup, we've got 3 ceramic coatings. We have a 3-year, a 5-year, and an 8-year.
Uh-huh.
The 3-year contains graphene oxide,
Yes.
and the graphene oxide helps reduce water spotting.
Okay.
It's not going to eliminate it, but it helps counter water spots. The 5-year is our glossiest coating.
Okay.
And since this is a car that's well maintained, garage kept, and you know, it can benefit from some gloss. So that's why we chose the 5-year on this one.
Okay.
The 8-year is our most durable coating, but it's also the one that is most chemically resistant, etc. So for a daily driver that sits outside,
Yeah.
that's the coating you want to use.
Okay.
I've been watching your channel for almost a year now, and I've never seen your car be dirty. So
Yeah, I don't film the dirty part sometimes.
okay.
Like I said, time I'd spent babying the finish is usually time I'm spending filming, but no, this is huge.
So Mark, how do you feel about ceramic coating?
Much easier than I thought it would be, and makes the car look great. Now, you may talk about this later, but while I'm thinking of it, now I assume after I wash, I'm going to want to hit this with your ceramic spray coating, right?
Not necessary.
Really?
No, the coating stands by itself.
Okay.
So there's no real need for the the ceramic spray.
Yep.
But if you have it, use it as a drying aid. You'll probably be, even though you tried the rinseless today,
Yeah.
you'll probably be washing with Incredible Suds.
Probably.
And if you're washing with Incredible Suds, you're rinsing off with water, and drying with water alone, water is a solvent. So you need some form of lubrication for your towel. That's where the ceramic gloss comes in.
Okay.
So
all
a
right.
little spray of ceramic gloss, and you're done.
Because I've kind of done it in, I've dried and then I've ceramic glossed in the past.
Yeah, use it as a drying aid. So on the wet surface, one little spray.
Yep.
And
dry it off.
Dry it off, and you're done.
Okay.
You don't have to do an additional step.
That's nice.
So passenger side of the front bumper.
Yep.
And we're done. And for your first time wiping off ceramic coating, you've done a fabulous job.
Well, thank you.
I don't see any high spots anywhere. High spots are an excess of ceramic coating.
Yep.
And they normally are found like around the base of the mirror,
Yeah.
the intersection of the A pillar to the hood and the door. And you've done a great job.
Great.
Just do a little walk around inspection to make sure there's none of those areas that were missed.
Yeah, let
like
me
I
know.
say, so far so good. So you're very methodical in your leveling of the coating. With that, we're done.
Amazing. That was super easy. What did that take us? A half an hour start to finish? I mean, there's two
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
So maybe if there were one of us, it would have taken 45 minutes. But
Yeah, it's not much
Yeah.
longer doing it yourself.
no, this was, it's a small car, but
Yep.
and boy, it looks good. It looks great.
And from start to finish, we're not 3 hours in from when we started
no,
washing the
we're,
car.
we're really not. I
Yeah.
mean, starting from scratch, I think someone could do this whole process in 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Yep.
And you've done basically what you need to do to the car's finish for really years to come.
Exactly. So, thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you, Ivan. It's been a real pleasure.
Yep.
Thanks for coming out.
And there's another video on a Z3 or Z3, depending on where you're from, that you might want to watch right here.